For the spiritual empath, the home is not simply a place to sleep. It is where the nervous system resets, where perception settles, where the unseen residue of the day either dissolves or accumulates. When toxicity enters the space, even subtly, the empath feels it immediately. Overwhelm does not arrive as drama, it arrives as fatigue, fatigue without explanation, irritation without a source, or a sense that rest never fully restores. Solitude, then, is not withdrawal, it is maintenance. It is the practice of keeping the inner life intact. A spiritually sensitive person absorbs more than words. Tone, intention, emotional charge, unresolved conflict, and unspoken tension all register. When these are carried into the home, the body treats the space as unsafe to relax. The mind remains alert. The heart stays open when it should be at ease. Over time, this creates exhaustion that sleep alone cannot fix. Protection of the home begins with understanding that not everything deserves entry. And this is not about you being suspicious, it is about discernment. Conversations that spiral, visitors who leave emotional residue, digital content that agitates the nervous system. Each one alters the atmosphere. The empath learns that peace is preserved not by enduring everything, but by choosing carefully. Solitude practice, well, is intentional and it is not isolating. It is the act of returning to oneself without interference. In solitude, the empath's senses come back into balance. Thoughts slow, emotional charge drains away, the body relearns safety. And this is why solitude often feels restorative even when nothing productive happens. The system is repairing itself quietly. The home becomes protected when clear internal agreements are made, not spoken aloud, not enforced aggressively, but just simply known. This space is not for processing other people's unresolved material. It is not a holding area for conflict. It is not a place where obligation overrides well being. When these agreements are honored internally, external choices begin to follow naturally. Overwhelm decreases when the empath stops carrying the world home with them. Before entering their space, they mentally mark the end of interactions. Before entering their space, work stays at work, conversations stay where they occurred, emotional exchanges close when they are done. This signals to the nervous system that the day is ended and rest is permitted. Solitude often sharpens awareness. In quiet, the empath can sense when something has disrupted their space. This awareness is not fear-based, it is informational. When something feels off, it is addressed early through rest, silence, grounding, or simply time alone before it accumulates. The protected home does not need to be silent at all times. It needs to be honest. Honest about what soothes the body, honest about what agitates the mind, honest about when company nourishes and when they drain. From that honesty, boundaries form without force. For the spiritual empath, solitude is not emptiness. It is where life reorganizes itself gently. When the home supports the process, overwhelm fades, clarity returns without effort, and the empath can re enter the world without losing themselves. Your home is allowed to be a sanctuary. Solitude is allowed to be sacred, and protecting your inner life is not selfish, but it is necessary. For the spiritual empath, protecting the home is an act of wisdom. It is not retreat. When solitude is honored, the inner world is allowed to settle back into its natural order. Overwhelm fades not because life becomes easier, but because the empath stops carrying what was never meant to live inside them. A protected home restores discernment, renews sensitivity without depletion, and makes it possible to engage the world without losing one's center. Solitude becomes the place where wholeness is maintained rather than repaired after damage has already been done. A spiritually sensitive person is affected by atmosphere as much as events, which means the home must be guarded with intention rather than force. Solitude is not isolation, but a necessary condition for renewal, allowing the inner life to return to balance without interference. Overwhelm lessens when emotional exchanges are allowed to end where they occur instead of being carried into personal space. Boundaries become natural when the empath accepts that peace is not earned through endurance, but preserved through choice. A sanctuary is created not by silence alone, but by honesty about what nourishes and what drains. You are allowed to keep your home clear. You are allowed to choose quiet without explanation. You are allowed to protect your inner life with discernment and care. Solitude is not absence, it is where strength quietly returns. When your space is honored, you re enter the world present and unburdened. There is a profound difference between being open and being unguarded. The spiritually sensitive often confuse the two early in life. You learn that openness brings insight, compassion, and attunement. You learn that you can sense what others cannot, feel what remains unspoken, and carry what others avoid. And so you leave yourself open far longer than is wise. And eventually, the cost appears. Not as catastrophe at first, but as depletion, a dulling of joy, a sense that rest does not quite restore. You wake up tired even when nothing is wrong. And this is where the teaching begins, because the body does not lie. When the body no longer recovers, something essential has been violated. And the home is where the violation becomes visible. Your home is not merely a physical enclosure. It is the outer boundary of your inner life. Spiritually, it is the place where perception is meant to return to neutral. When that does not happen, the system stays alert. It keeps scanning. It never fully settles, and a system that never settles cannot heal. For the empath, this happens easily because you do not stop sensing simply because you have crossed the threshold. You carry conversations with you. You carry unresolved emotional fields. You replay tone, meaning, and implication. You do not do this because you are weak. You do it because you are accurate. But accuracy without limits becomes injury. So solitude enters as preference, but is necessity. Solitude is not the absence of people. It is the absence of intrusion. It is the condition under which your inner life can reorganize itself without external demand. In solitude, you are no longer required to track anyone else's emotional state. You are no longer compensating and you are no longer translating. The system exhales. And this is why solitude often feels sacred, even when nothing spiritual is being done. Nothing needs to be invoked, nothing needs to be explained. The nervous system says yes. The biological substrate of your soul finally receives the signal that it is safe to stand down. Protecting your home is not an act of fear, it is an act of responsibility. When you allow toxic dynamics, unresolved emotional material, manipulative conversations, or constant digital agitation into your living space, you are training your system to treat chaos as normal. Over time, the psyche adapts. And adaptation, when it happens long enough, begins to look like personality. You become irritable, withdrawn, distracted, and you assume something is wrong with you. But what is actually happening is simpler and more serious. Your sanctuary has been breached. The empath must learn something difficult and deeply moral. Nothing serves or deserves access to you. Not every conversation needs to be finished. Not every emotion needs to be processed immediately. And not every request is yours to answer. And this is not selfishness. This is stewardship. Solitude, practiced well, sharpens your discernment. When your space is quiet enough, you can feel immediately when something has disturbed it. That sensation is information. It tells you where your limits are. It tells you what restores you and what drains you. And over time, you stop needing dramatic boundaries because your choices change. You stop bringing certain things home. You learn to mark endings, and interaction ends when it ends. It does not follow you across rooms, across hours, across days, across timelines. You do not analyze it endlessly. You acknowledge it, release it, and allow your inner life to close the circuit. And this is how overwhelm dissolves, not through confrontation, but through completion. Spiritually, this is profound because when the home is protected, intuition returns. Prayer becomes quiet. Insight arises without effort, and your prayers are not desperate. You are no longer trying to hear through static. The signal comes on its own. And this is where the prophetic aspect enters. Those who are sensitive are often called to perceive, to witness, to name what others avoid. But the calling does not require perpetual exposure. In fact, without withdrawal, the gift distorts. It becomes hypervigilance instead of wisdom. It becomes exhaustion instead of service. You are not meant to live everywhere at once. Solitude teaches you where you end and the world begins. It teaches you that peace is not something you earn after enduring enough. It is something you preserve so that you can engage without losing yourself. The protected home becomes a place where you remember who you are when no one is watching, where you return to baseline, where the soul does its work without interruption. And when you leave that place, you do so whole. This is the paradox, though. The more carefully you guard your sanctuary, the more generously you can give beyond it because you are giving from overflow. The more disciplined your solitude, the more truthful your presence. The more honest your boundaries, the less you need to defend them. And this is not withdrawal from life, it is preparation for right participation. And for the empath, it is not optional. It is the difference between being consumed by sensitivity and being guided by it. The spiritual empath is not meant to survive by endurance alone. Sensitivity is not a burden to be carried until it collapses you into exhaustion. It is a form of perception that requires order, care, and containment to remain true. When the home is protected and solitude is honored, the empath does not lose connection to the world. They regain their rightful place within it. The inner life settles, discernment sharpens, and what once felt overwhelming becomes manageable without force. This is the deeper lesson. Peace is not something you chase after chaos has already done its damage. It is something you preserve so that chaos never gains unnecessary access in the first place. Solitude is not avoidance. It is ground. It is the ground where insight matures, where intuition speaks without strain, and where the soul remembers its own authority. When you take responsibility for your sanctuary, you stop mistaking depletion for destiny. You stop confusing constant exposure with purpose. You learn that your gift functions best when it is protected, not exploited. This is how the empath remains whole in a world that pulls on them constantly. This is how sensitivity becomes your strength rather than you being sacrificed. What restores you is not distance from life, but right placement within it. When you guard your home, you are not hiding, you are choosing where your spirit is allowed to settle. And solitude is not emptiness, it is the ground where discernment becomes audible again. You were never meant to process everything, carry everyone, or house unresolved matters that are not yours. When interactions end where they occur, your inner life closes cleanly and your strength returns. Your peace is preserved through choice, not by having to recover, and your sensitivity remains a gift only when it's protected with wisdom. You are permitted to keep your sanctuary clean. You are permitted to choose quiet without apology. You are permitted to say within yourself, "This does not enter my dwelling." The world will continue to pull, but you do not have to answer every call. Guard the place where you return to yourself, and you will walk back into the world with sight, truth, and purpose intact. Thank you for visiting my channel. May your soul continue to be blessed. Stay covered, stay conscious, and stay undefeated. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Bye.